What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Extreme Nerd Table. I took a 2 week break. I have the Godfather here, and I have Anthony. So, and Rando's gonna be joining us like at 9:15. So, just give him a little bit. But all right, since we got you guys here, what you guys what you guys think of WandaVision so far?
I'll let
I
Anthony
know.
speak first. I have a lot
Well,
to
Well,
say.
yeah. Let me give a spoiler warning out there, just in case you guys haven't watched it. Mute it or just come back in a few minutes.
well,
This is my little goddess. Sorry.
Mhm.
well, spoiler.
Yeah.
I knew it was Agatha Harkness all along
Mm.
because her name was Agnes, and I love her new theme song. And
Yeah.
Catherine
It's
Hahn,
catchy, isn't it?
Catherine Hahn is a great actress, and
Mhm.
I don't know if Mephisto or Dormammu or anybody else is going to be showing up, but I do have a feeling that Agatha Harkness is the root of all evil, so to speak, or at least the manipulator there. And I honestly think, spoiler, I have a feeling that she's been pulling the strings and all that. And I think, non-spoiler, if I was going to speculate, I would say that old Doctor Strange is going to show up in the last episode, and he's going to take that TV show right into the the whole madness sequel, Doctor Strange sequel, that they're the multitudes of madness, or the multiverse of madness, whatever that sequel is going to
Right.
be, which is going to be directed by Sam Raimi, which as I just love that idea. There's something about Sam Raimi and those Steve Ditko creations that I just think is going to be great. And seeing Agatha and possibly Wanda and hopefully the Vision and some form of Pietro would be nice and all that jazz. So I
Uh,
think
Yeah.
I'm gonna say real quick. I loved the way I'm a big fan of the way the series is going,
mm.
and I'm a big fan of the way it started. It's called a build. It's you kind of set something up so then you can take it on the top of the roller coaster and then it goes down. And I think anybody, whether you're a straight non-comic fan or you're a comic fan or whatever, you should realize that that's the way a real story is supposed to be told. It should have an
Mm.
arc and it should have a
Mhm.
build up. And I have a feeling that in the year 2021, maybe we've forgotten how to watch good television. It's a weekly binging a whole season of something is in one night is great, but like I think we've spoke before, I've watched things like that and I've enjoyed them immensely, and then I'll think a week later, what was that show I liked so much even about? Because I just
Yeah.
through the whole thing. This serialization TV show, like they did in the old days, week by week, it builds up anticipation, and then it makes people online and on,
Mhm.
all the interwebs sit and say, wow, look what happened last week. And, there was this thing called the water cooler years ago before the
Yeah.
internet. You're at your job and you watched your latest episode of Seinfeld, you'd go back and say, oh, did you see what happened?
Right.
That's the way things used to be. And the whole WandaVision is based around the way things used to be.
Yeah.
So
Everything new is
Like
everything
our
old is
comic
new
book
again.
history.
Yeah.
yeah,
Everything
but
old is new
I love
again.
it. I love it. I think it's great.
Mm.
And you could pontificate. The three of us and every other web channel could talk for years about what they
Right.
think's going to happen.
Right.
Exactly.
But really, they know what's going to happen,
Of
and
course.
all those Easter eggs are, I think, just Easter eggs sometimes.
Yep. That's what I think too.
What's
Yo,
the
Rob.
water cooler? Boomer. Hey, Rob.
What's up, Rob?
My dad's a boomer, not me.
All right.
Generation X, my friend.
That's
Yeah.
what I am. Yes. I got somebody in my own ballpark. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Yep.
who do you think Evan Peters is exactly? I don't think he's Pietro at all though. Who do you guys think he is?
You first, G-Man.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Witch doing it, and it can be so many. You can speculate it on so much. The Witch is actually doing all of that.
yeah.
Agatha's
Oh,
doing.
okay. Okay.
You know,
Well,
she's. But the thing that you know, you can speculate and speculate and speculate.
right.
But from what it looks like when you go to see the book down in the basement,
Mm-hmm.
the glowing book that's going on, okay, and you look at some of the other characters that are happening, I always want to keep going back to Nightmare, for example,
Mm-hmm.
because he was
Yeah.
like a leech. He would suck the energy out of his superhero, out of a mutant powers, and use their powers. You know, she's kind of doing the same thing in a kind of a sense. You know, it's not all her. She's using part of it. She's using part of the Wanda as well.
Mm.
But this is Disney. Everybody's got to remember that. And I just told Jeff earlier, if the two kids are just artificial, whatever, don't get absorbed, Mephisto doesn't exist, and Disney's smart and they use the two kids, then we are talking. Where is it? Yeah. This is what I keep thinking. And why wouldn't Disney not do it? And I keep thinking Young Avengers. I go straight
Yeah,
to
well,
Young Avengers.
that's what the rumor
Hey,
is.
Rob,
It's
what's up,
a
buddy?
long time no see, man. Hey,
Hey,
How
long
you doing,
time no
buddy?
see. Hey, Anthony. Hey, Rob.
Hey.
Hey, Jeff.
hey.
How you doing, bud?
I think that WandaVision's heading in a great direction. I think that Evan Peters is Mephisto.
Hmm. I honestly
I just don't
I
want
think
to.
so.
I'm going to give
Yeah.
you a reason why. So much like the Avengers, when we're first seeing them fight, just Loki at the very tail end, we get the next big bad, and we're kind of leading to that. So we might wind up getting to see Mephisto at the very end. We might wind up getting to see Kang at the very end, all just so it becomes a springboard for the next projects.
Mm.
Exactly.
But bringing in Evan Peters, you can't throw away a great character like that from another universe and just throw him away. No,
Mm-hmm.
no. We're bringing in the X-Men.
X-Men,
Hudson?
absolutely. That's hands down. That's a given.
I'm thinking the hex will widen enough till it becomes House of M, and at that point there is Doctor Strange in the Mouth of Madness.
Yep. Bingo. Bingo right there.
Well, honestly, I thought it was gonna be Reed Richards that she was gonna meet up with. I honestly thought that's who she was gonna meet up with.
You know who I'm hoping for?
Who?
Oh, just a little guy by the name of Adam.
Oh yeah.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That too.
I
Yeah.
want to
It
see
ain't
him.
happening yet.
Yeah.
They
Wow.
could be
Yep.
assembling a new Ultimates. They could be assembling a Defenders team. They could be assembling.
The other thing you catch on the commercial break, Nexus. That's the other drop that they put in. I'm like, what? Right
Mhm.
there. I'm
She's like the
that's
nexus of all reality, and they could go
Right.
in many directions with
yes, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because she's the constant. Yeah, she's the nexus being, and she's the constant of
And I have to
all
admit,
realities.
They definitely have kept you on the edge of the seat,
Mhm.
and it just keeps your imagination going. You're just like, okay, that could be that, that could be that, but it's so fun. It's like playing treasure hunt when you're watching the show. So
Yeah.
they've made TV watching exciting again.
They made streaming watching exciting again, because before it was you would binge a whole season, and then you'd be, oh, what the hell happened? Like like Anthony said, the next week you'd be like, what's the show that I liked? And what the hell happened in the whole show?
It's like you can expect some weird, but if you have all the weird at once, maybe you can't handle it. So they'll sprinkle a little weird over time and increase the volume, escalate, and then by the final episode, it'll just be balls out, batshit crazy.
Right.
At least that's what I'm hoping.
Anybody think Vision will be alive at the end of the series?
Oh,
maybe.
I'm hoping he is.
Me
Yeah,
too.
maybe. Yeah, my thing.
Well, see,
Maybe.
here's the thing. Why couldn't he be? Because if you think about it, and you go back to, as an example, Endgame, and I'm talking about
Gamora?
not Gamora, the science girl, the sister, from
Shuri.
Black Panther.
Darcy.
Shuri.
Shuri.
Remember, she had all of that tech in her hands. She already had analyzed everything before she got attacked. So they still got that tech somewhere. You know, they still got it.
And Sword was trying to reanimate her anyway, or
reanimate him.
So realistically,
that was part of the deal.
You know, you could be reincarnated probably and have to remember everything, try to, you know, reprogram. But yeah, he could still stay there.
Queen G's in the chat.
Maybe they'll put the brain of Simon Williams in him.
Okay, here's a good question.
That would be a wonder, man.
Somebody, could we have been introduced to Wonder Man already? Have we been introduced to a character that maybe they're right there in our face and we just don't know who they are yet?
That's what I keep thinking as well. And that's why when you say Mephisto, I think the same thing, but I also think of Nightmare too. I think of that.
It could be. It could be either or. It could be either or either one of them.
And they could just shit on us all and say, "Hey, no, we're doing it this way."
Yeah.
I think it's fun. It is so much fun.
Yeah, it's so much fun to guess to see who Evan Peters is.
But here's the best part though, where I don't have to guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Best part where I don't have to guess. My sweetheart, you know, whether it goes this route,
right? House of M.
Any of these backstory drops, I got everything on that woman, and it's like, I as a fan for years of her, it's like, yes, she's getting some due justice. You know what I mean?
Oh, I just had a thought.
What's that?
Ooh, Wonder Man's the mailman.
That would be awesome. I would take that.
My honey. She's in the chat.
I've been hearing that we're going to be getting another reveal of some characters we've seen before, one of which being Bill Foster, played by, oh God, why am I forgetting his name? I lost it.
You'll remember. That's okay. I get old.
Lawrence Fishburne played him. He could become Goliath, and at the very last part of the episode, since he has Pym particles, he just winds up ripping Vision in half. The end.
I got a question. Just like every comic book going on, the old question is, where are all the other superheroes while this shit's going on?
Right.
They don't exist yet.
Thank you.
The mutants don't exist yet.
We're not talking about the mutants. We're talking about like Cat.
Where's the Hulk? Where's everybody hanging around? Are they all recuperating from Tony's funeral that they can't,
right?
That they can't pitch in? When half of New Jersey is disappearing, no one knows. Stole a body. Come on.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
I know.
I have an idea, too. Here's one. We keep hearing of M-Day, even up till now in the comic books in post-Hoxpox. And M-Day happened way long time ago, but maybe we could have a reverse of what M-Day means, and M-Day is just the birth of all mutants.
Yeah. Possible. Yep.
Possible.
Absolutely.
Instead of the evisceration all the way down to, what was it, 98 or 198?
Yeah, I think 90. I think it was 98. I think it was 98 mutants. I think it was, wasn't it?
I forgot.
The real answer to my question is everyone that's left in Marvel in the MCU is busy shooting their own series and they can't be bothered.
Hey, where's Falcon? Well, not around here. Where's Winter Soldier? He's doing his own thing.
It's frustrating.
Don't ask.
They're holding on to them all. Why are they holding on to them all? I mean, you know how long I've been waiting for like an example? Okay, this WandaVision, not just the WandaVision show itself, but they've talked about making a movie or a series for the Scarlet Witch for over 9 years or more. I heard it way back then, and that's how long I've been waiting for that character. And I'm happy for what I see now. I'm very happy with it. But the other character that's been driving me absolutely insane that they keep delaying, Morbius, the living vampire. It's really I'm just, come on.
Still.
Marvel just had word on to release direct to the theater.
Still Sony right now, Morbius.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
And it's only that and Venom are the only thing holding them up right now. That's the only reason they haven't released it.
Yeah. That's the most aggravating thing right there. You know, yeah.
You know, if they start going bankrupt, you know where it's going.
And what are we expecting with an oversaturation of Spider movies with Carnage and then maybe getting a Black Cat movie? And it's like Star Wars. I'm pretty sure Star Wars is going to get a little oversaturated.
Yeah.
So, Spider-Man's going to do the same thing. It's going to get
Spawn's doing it right now.
Yeah.
I don't need an oversaturation of stuff.
Yeah. Hear you there.
Yeah, because now people are gonna don't know where to go and what to pick. It's like, oh shit, what do I watch? You know, it's like, oh man, I got way too much stuff to watch.
Such problems we have.
Yeah, but we all remember when there was one superhero movie a year, if that.
Right.
Hey guys, did you hear about this new movie, Blade? It looks pretty cool. They're making it.
You know what, Rob? I get shit for that still to this day. Every time I bring up all I was saying, and people still misunderstand when I say it. It's like look at what was happening with Marvel back in the 90s. They almost went bankrupt.
But they forget. A lot of people forget about that, though. They forget about that. Marvel was almost bankrupt and almost gone.
They're almost bankrupt, and
you don't have many fans today.
What's that?
You don't have many fans of comics today that were fans of comics back in the 90s that are still fans to this day. Yeah. Some of us are, like all of us here, we're aware of all that, but others, they're not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, love it.
Rando's finally here.
I just wish they would make that. I really do. They said it sucked. I'm sorry. It was entertaining for the times. It was so bad, but entertaining. Randall, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, guys?
How are you?
Yeah, I took a 2-week break, man. So I needed it.
I need a 2-year break. 2 years. 2 years in a coma, in a hospital.
Not bad, huh?
Yeah, I'm working too much. I'm too tired.
So have you watched WandaVision yet or no? Talking to you, Randall. Okay. What do you think so far? Since I asked everybody else.
It's gotten a lot better. I mean, like the first 2 episodes felt like they just really. I mean, I get what they were going for. But it just felt like it dragged, and I think originally the series was supposed to be, I think, like 1 hour increments, and I think they changed it up last minute. So, because if you watch like the first 2 episodes, like it feels like it should have been the first episode, just like one episode,
right?
So by splitting it up, it just it gave the impression of like it was being dragged out, But it's good. It's really good. I mean, it's enjoyable. It's entertaining. I mean, I think part of the reason it's also more entertaining is because we also have Rambo, we got Jimmy Woo, so like balancing between what's happening on one side and then what's happening inside Westview, between that's I think what the show needed. It needed to bounce around.
Right. So we all saw the Mortal Kombat trailer. So what's everybody think of that?
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Mortal Kombat trailer came out.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What a segue.
I'm gonna have to watch that off air real quick.
Well, we can do it now. Can we?
Yeah.
Can we watch it on YouTube or no?
Get over here, Rob,
Yeah.
and tell us what you
Yeah.
think when you're done.
Hold on. I think I mean, if we don't get
I like
can-
it.
I-
I like that. I like the tone of it. I like
Okay.
the martial art. The martial arts looks great. The story, it doesn't
It
feel
looks a little
corny or
darker.
campy.
It looks a little
Yeah,
darker.
it looks like it's really leaning more closer to like the more recent video games.
Yep.
So I think that's neat because I've
Yeah.
always liked the story.
Yeah.
I've always liked the
Yeah,
lore.
trailer, bud. Yep.
Hey, you're getting a live reaction video, but we can't play anything for copyright. Sorry, everybody.
just in case.
Exactly.
I don't want to go halfway through the stream and then like Sean, what happened to Sean? Yeah, we're off air. We're talking.
Well, it's nice because there's so much blood and gore, and it looks like
Mhm.
the actual, the finish him, the combos at the end.
Sure.
Looks
That's
like you're
cool.
actually playing the game.
Yeah,
So,
the fatalities.
yeah, the fatalities. Sorry, that was my boomer self not remembering the name of that.
It'd be interesting to see. What it,
Well, I'll see it. We'll all see it on HBO Max the day it comes out. We don't even have to go
Right.
anywhere.
That was
Just
kinda
like
cool.
everything else.
Yeah,
William down in the chat. Did you see that?
yeah.
The guy with the spikes on his arm, was that supposed to be Baraka?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm going to go get back to watching the film.
I don't know if Nick Fury was hinting at the Avengers being off planet. They
think he
did
was
mention.
No, because
they
we were
mentioned-
saying, like Anthony was saying, like, where's all the Avengers at when this is happening and the WandaVision thing's happening? So where are all
I
these
was
heroes
just-
at?
I was just being sarcastic. As Randall always knows, whenever Gotham is being completely taken over by someone, only Batman knows about it. Apparently, the news doesn't work. The
Right.
internet doesn't work. None of the Green Lanterns or Superman or Wonder Woman.
I just
No
think that
one
the people
cares
of Gotham
about
at
what's
this
going
point. I think the people at Gotham at this point realize if anything's happening in Gotham, anything bad,
Yeah.
they have a much higher percentage rate of surviving by just staying indoors and pretending like nothing's going on. You know,
Right, but it's the whole wonderful world of comic books. When one catastrophe is going on somewhere, none of the media outlets will cover it, and none of the other people's radar will know. So
Right.
all the other heroes.
Or it's like
busy
the
making
Justice
their
League and the Avengers have contracts. They go, since it's here, it's your.
just out of curiosity, with Iron Man gone, with Cap gone, Thor is gone with the Guardians of the Galaxy. What remaining Avengers are there? There'd be like what? Hulk. There'd be
Mhm.
War Machine.
Hmm.
Ant-Man.
Let's think about that for a moment. Okay, so
Panther's still alive, really.
the one mutant that we got out of the Avengers that's kind of a mutant would be Hulk,
Mm.
but he's modified. But everything else is all either human or a demigod. There's
Right.
a big difference there in what they are. If you look at them that way, that's how I see them.
And because of COVID, Alpha Flight can't get in the country to help either.
Yeah.
I love Alpha Flight though. That was a good.
Me
that was a
too.
good run.
Oh,
It was
I
great.
can't wait to see a live action Alpha Flight.
represented. But you know what? Apparently, Marvel won't credit Byrne. No one will credit John Byrne with anything. So you'll never see Alpha Flight, probably.
Mm.
In the last issue I just read of Excalibur, you had a bunch of people it wasn't Excalibur, it was Marauders. They found a bunch of people stowed away in a boat that were being transported for, I guess, human trafficking. And they said, okay, we'll bring you back to the United States. No! We'll bring you to Jersey. I mean, at least it's not Florida. I'm like, oh God, we're a joke. Yeah, we're a joke. United States and especially Florida, and I live in Florida. God damn it.
Me too. Him too.
Accurate.
What did you think of the preview?
The preview is pretty damn fun. If anything, it could be a complete disaster, but overall it'll be fun.
I got to see who's making it. Who's actually producing it?
I don't know who's producing it, but it looks like the fight scenes will be well choreographed. Hey, they didn't whitewash the cast mostly, it looks like. Raiden, it's not the Highlander.
Yeah. Yep. No.
The thing I like is that we're going to get Sub-Zero and Scorpion fighting each other, which I always am looking forward to watching. Because for a long time, those were kind of two of my favorite characters in the franchise. So to see them fight, they did fight in the Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and so many people bashed that second film, but I will say that my favorite part of that second film was seeing Scorpion and Sub-Zero fight. But this one, the fight just looks so much better. It's so cool. When you saw the blood come out of Scorpion, and you saw
was great.
Sub-Zero freeze that blood and just took him and stabbed.
How about Sub-Zero grabbing Jax's arm, and we get to see the origin of Jax and his arm.
Yeah, cybernetic arm. Yeah.
If they just make it all origins leading up to how they wind up becoming badass fighters throughout the whole thing, hey, it's Dragon Ball Z, the movie.
And you don't have a thing like a Muppet.
How about when did I bet the people in Texas weren't liking that Sub-Zero scenes.
Ooh.
What, too soon?
What? Honestly, man, like I said, Texas doesn't in 50 years. The one time it snows, or the second time it snows, everything goes to shit, goes to hell.
What's interesting is all these different states. Anytime there's this major, I don't want to say major disaster, but major weather occurrence in some of these states that these states aren't usually experienced in, it's a wake-up call for them, right? With what happened with New Orleans, Louisiana, when the hurricanes are coming by and it's hitting them, and they, we're dealing with the flooding, and now Texas dealing with
snow.
Yeah, with actual winter, with things freezing. It's these are things that now they have to start thinking and being prepared for, just in case it happens again, or else it's going to cause a lot of problems. So it's it's just, thankfully Florida, our biggest thing is hurricanes, and
weather-wise we don't know. Yeah, but weather-wise we don't know for sure, man. Because look, Texas has started snowing. You never know.
It's gonna be a long time before that snow really hits us.
Yeah.
All right, listen to Williams in the chat. All right, if you're gonna throw the scrolls thing down my throat, no, I've been hearing the scroll things is driving me crazy. Ever since Miss Captain Marvel, okay, whether you like it or you don't like it, I think it's okay. I don't think it's great, excellent, whatever. I think she runs like a pterodactyl. But, chicken. But the Skrulls in that technically were supposed to be should have been the villains, and they made them the good guys. So I don't know what story arc they're getting that from, and would they go with that? Who knows?
Well, you heard that they announced Secret Invasion, right?
Yeah, I heard that.
Animated.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, I think what they're going to do is they're going to explain that there's two factions of Skrulls, and so it just so happens that the Skrulls that Fury's working with, they just happen to be the good ones. And then we'll see, I'm sure we'll see the bad Skrulls. If we're lucky, we even see Super Skrull. And that could lead into the Fantastic Four, maybe.
Don't you say that. Fantastic Four is coming in on their
it just kills me that Skrulls and no Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
What'd you say, bud? Rob?
It kills me that there's Skrulls running around and been running around for the last 2 years, and no Fantastic Four.
I know, it's driving me insane. Absolutely insane.
Hey, we were formally, not that we didn't know, but we were formally introduced to Agatha just this past Friday, and still no Fantastic Four. So let's origins or origins. So
that's right.
How about we introduce
everybody
to Fantastic Four and then leave them for last?
Interesting.
It could be worse though. It could be worse. I mean, if you wanted them to rush introducing the Fantastic Four, we could have gotten the Fantastic Four from the most recent reboot.
Oh, please. Please, no. Okay, but if you guys really think about it, we know these characters. Majority of society does not. New people do not. And this whole thing, which catches me off, like, I'm just amazed at how much they're pumping out Agatha, the witch. You know, she's what? She's not talked about much in the series. She's in the 12-part series for Vision and Scarlet Witch. Then she goes farther even back into like a couple other books she's in.
Yeah, and then she's a babysitter of Reed Richards and Sue Richards' kid too. So, not a lot of people know who she is. She's not a character like Captain America, you know. And it's like, where are they trying to take it? You know, because they got to bring these whole stories of these characters to the newer generation that don't know who they are, to bring them in somehow. That's why I always think like, okay, I'm trying to keep my excitement down for possible characters that we love, Mephisto and those guys. But the way Disney is, Robert,
do you think that we'll actually get Bovo now?
What's that, buddy?
The cow.
Are we gonna get Bovo the cow? No.
It was in an ad when she was in the grocery store. There was an ad with the cow in it. Again, these are just Easter eggs for the sake of nerds like us.
Look how many people on Friday alone, their servers crashed. 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, wanted to watch it. That's how many people are watching that show. You couldn't watch it. The servers crashed.
Did everyone see the genius posts Friday night of all the folks that had the frames from Doctor Strange movie, the missing book from the library? Was the book she had, of course. Yeah. But then they were also like, hey, and did you notice every shelf on the library was a hexagon? You know, I think they're geniuses. I think they have this shit planned years in
even
advance.
Her bread spread, when she was in this one, she's got the bread spread over. Look at all of the bedspread and everything. Hexagons everywhere. And if you look at the outside of the shield, you see a hexagon going around. What is the stork or the swan or the goose? What is that representing? See, that's where me and I think. Did you see that, Rob?
I saw that. I don't know.
But she kept on hitting it and it just kept on. It wouldn't disappear. Yeah.
And when it disappears, it always disappears with a red mist, does it not?
Exactly. Yes.
As opposed to the purple color that's attached to Agatha.
But some people said the stork is Mephisto. Some people were saying that.
I was like, God. You know how many? I have to say this is really funny, but I had some younger collect friends. They're asking me this question, and I was so shocked. They had no idea what the stork represented.
Oh boy!
Yeah, I know.
Friggin' babies.
My son asked me the same thing.
Never read that. I was like, what? It was kind of cute. Wow. Am I on this planet? No, I guess I'm too old.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, too old.
Who wants to take a guess that at the very last episode that they're going to take that chance to announce something that we don't know about that we wouldn't have been able to know about because it would have been a giant spoiler, so they're going to wait to the very last episode to announce.
I think
I'm
so.
going to take that gamble.
Yeah.
What do you,
I
Say
think it's
that.
funny that people.
Rob,
I think
say that
people
one more
keep
time.
mentioning. They keep mentioning Mephisto.
Yeah.
And,
No, but but like Rob was saying, I think me and Rob think they're gonna announce, like they're gonna wait until the last episode and majorly announce something big.
Yeah.
Like
So
I think
this show that waited until season 2 at the very end to announce the book of who is it, Boba Fett.
Yep.
They're going to be announcing so many shows that are going to probably springboard right off from this one, but they can't tell us what they are yet, because if we know about it, we're going to know how it ends.
Yep.
Well, it's nice to see that all the Marvel shows are coming out this year. So, like, I wasn't expecting them to be like back to back, you know, back to back to back to back, you know. So, like, we have WandaVision. About a week or 2 weeks after it's over, we got Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yep.
And then I think, you know, same thing when that's over. I think Loki's going to premiere, and then after Loki's finished, then we're going to get Hawkeye. You know, so that's going to fill up the whole year. You know, and then not including like the other shows. You know, like Disney's got I'm excited for the Mighty Ducks TV show. That's going to be in March as well. Then we've got the Book of Boba Fett. But I think before the Book of Boba Fett, they're doing the Cassian or Cassior, or forget the guy's name, the one from Rogue One, the guy from Rogue One. You know, he's getting his own show.
That's why everybody's listening to the comic book. I've been trying to figure out what the hell is so great about the comic book. They're specking on it, and I can't believe what that book is going for.
Yep.
You're crazy. A modern book going for over $100 and some, you got to be out of your mind.
Oh, that's just speculators, man. I mean,
that's nothing new.
The speculators have taken over comics. You know, it's almost like the '90s all over again. You know, except instead of like millions of people trying to cash in on comic books, you have a subgroup, like a specific group of people that are kind of like directing and motivating high ticket sales on modern books and speculation.
Sure.
And they're maintaining it. This small group of people are maintaining it, and a lot of it probably has to do with social media. Also has to do with just like, you know, comic book groups and people who are into collecting. You're always going to get like sort of people who decide to quit and get out of collecting and sell off all their books, and then you get like the new people who are getting into comic books that are just. And a lot of these new people that are getting into comic books, they tend to kind of just get sucked into these groups of speculators, these groups of people who are like, you know, hey, you know, it's crazy.
People.
Huh?
Like the
card people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Cards are blowing up.
One for $100, and now people are selling the fucking X-Force #1 for $100.
$175, Rob. I seen that thing go on an auction.
So guys, this is an opportunity. Listen, this is a great opportunity. While they're promoting bullshit, we can get the stuff we really want.
Yes, that's what I say.
Get rid of the bullshit and then collect what you want. Pretty much.
And let me tell you something. One of these days, my time is coming. My time is coming.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
So,
that electrical blue Superman is gonna skyrocket. I'm gonna be like dozens of them, just like
Yeah, they're making it.
So let me show you something. I don't collect cards. I don't own cards. I don't look at cards, whatever. But I picked up this box of 100 X-Men Series 1 Impel cards at a garage sale or thrift store or whatever a gazillion years ago.
Sure. There's
100 cards. It's a complete set. I paid 50 cents for them. Okay. With all the card talk, and it's got Deadpool, not the X-Force Deadpool, but it's got supposedly what they're calling Deadpool's rookie card in here, whatever. And it's a great set. The entire set, every card features Jim Lee art on the back and the front. It's from 1992. I paid 50 cents for it. It hasn't been opened in 15 or 18 years. 20 years maybe. I've never opened it yet. But when I heard them speculating about cards, I said to my wife, hey, let me look these up. There's people selling them for $100 online. For this thing that I paid 50 cents. So.
Get rid of it. Sell it.
Make back the 1,000 or 10,000% profit off of that.
It's on eBay right now. I'm gonna sell it before anybody comes to their senses, because I'm thinking about all the comic books I can buy if I sell this. So.
But like I said, I was saying,
you just gave me this brilliant idea. Like,
oh boy,
it just sparked in my head. Like, how cool would it be if Marvel was just like, you know what, we're going to capitalize on this card popularity, but we're going to do a theme. And so, like, Marvel's going to release new Marvel cards, but it's going to be Marvel characters dressed like baseball players. Right? They'll be like different.
That's every issue of the X-Men. They were always playing baseball.
And that will be Series 1. Series 2 will be them dressed as basketball players, right? And then Series 3, we will. And then here's the best part, right? Because it's Marvel, we already know the majority of these guys are going to be wearing New York uniforms. They'll either be wearing like Yankees, or they'll be wearing Mets, or like if they're playing basketball, they'll be the New York Knicks. Because the majority of them, they're all from New York.
Yeah, but like I was telling you guys previously, like I was telling you guys the previous week, is there's no cons going on, so we're collectors, and then what's the cheapest thing to collect at the time was cards, because the cards was low. You know what I mean? Well, you could get them for $1, a whole pack for $5.
For the collectors,
like Hot Wheels cards for like $1.
Dump them, get what you want.
Yeah. There was no cons. No cons going on. So you know what I mean. So people we're collectors, so we had to collect something else besides comic books.
Yeah. You know what would be the most dangerous thing that they could do for cards if they decided to release that to a new market? Print them with the first appearances and variant covers, and people will go wild for that because, hey, now I don't need the comic. I can just collect the card. And it's a mint card. It's a gem card.
Maybe when Marvel releases these cards, they can say, hey, check it out. This is Marvel Spider-Man number 1.1. And then we got number 1.2. And then we got like a number 1.3 out of the collection.
Stop the madness now. Mm-hmm. Read comic books. Read them.
What you're getting.
I want a Kevin Feige foil card. Or no, I want a Kevin Feige hologram card where you see him with a hat, but then when you move the card around, it removes the hat.
You see money.
Yeah.
When you move the hat around, you see $1 million, $1 billion.
It's like,
of our money.
Bills.
Yeah, see. This is what William got to say.
I will say, though, I mean, if they did do new cards, because, I mean, think of all the new characters that they've created in Marvel.
Sure.
Like if they made new cards, that this, like, imagine like a Miles Morales Spider-Man card.
Don't even get started on that, man, because you already know the previews. Miles Morales is already going for a couple $100. Imagine that if they come out with a card.
That's insane. That is insane.
It makes sense, but it is crazy.
Yeah. Imagine if they come out with a card, the card's going to go as high as that.
They'll make cards off of the movies. I wonder if they made cards off of the Into the Spider-Verse.
Probably. I wouldn't doubt it.
Into that.
That's a missed opportunity.
The last cards I picked up was from Smallville. I used to pick up like some, and then what I liked about some of those cards, I mean, you'd get autograph cards, and then the cool thing was they had these special cards where it's actual material. So, for example, there was like a Lana Lang card, and in the card there was like a hole, and in the hole was the piece of the fabric, the material from her jeans that she wore on the show. You know, so it was just like one of those, like, you know, hey, look at that, you own a piece of costume, or you own a piece from Smallville.
I don't see that being anywhere near sexual at all.
It's a little creepy.
Yeah.
You know what the weird part was? There was a red stain on it. No, I'm just kidding.
Good night, everybody.
Oh, Jesus.
Probably
Red
lipstick.
stain.
I think it was like lipstick or.
Hole. Yeah, card.
So I just got a classic 1942 4.0 slab.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Crayon.
Okay.
Steve Crayon, and what it is it's a gold book, golden age book.
Age.
Sensational new comic strips. It has
Right.
It's from the old comic strips, so it's got all the old comic strips in the comic book. And they actually had an old, I think it was an old TV serial, black and white. And I just picked up one of those. I'm still waiting for that to come in, and I'm really excited about that. I love the old stuff. And yeah, sorry, that's the kind of deal.
Good.
Got a good deal on it too, because nobody knows what it is.
William, too soon, William. Too soon.
No, it's been a year, maybe 2 years now.
She's in jail, right? Or out on bond?
Yeah.
I still want her autograph. I'm a completist.
Oh. That's it. I'm like, why can't I recognize the name? And then when you guys said in jail, I'm like, oh yeah. yeah.
Everyone loved Chloe.
Yeah.
You know who almost played Chloe on Smallville, but lost the role? What's her name? She was in Veronica Mars.
Oh.
Wig?
Kristen Bell.
Kristen Bell. Can you imagine how different the show would have been? How different her career would have been had she had been Chloe on Smallville?
Yeah, she would have been into sex slaves, possibly.
I don't know how one led to the other, but good luck. Had she never have been on Smallville, perhaps that never would have happened with her life.
Well, we don't know that for sure. So
perhaps her trajectory in life was just right towards cult.
Did you guys see the Zack Snyder Justice League, the Snyder cut comic book variants? Have you seen those covers?
Sorry.
Not yet.
Yes.
Not yet. I've seen like one or two of them. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, Jim Lee's doing one of the covers. Lee Bermejo is doing one of the other covers.
Liam Sharp's doing
Liam Sharp. Yep. Right now, I think the Lee Bermejo is probably my favorite variant of them. And I'm a huge Jim Lee fan, but I'm not crazy about the characters that Jim Lee drew on the cover.
Right.
No,
I think Lee Bermejo's covers have penises in them too.
Oh yeah. That explains why Darkseid looks so weird. With the Omega beams shooting out.
I know I had a long time catching up with it, and I was hearing so many bad things about the end of the season. But me and my honey, we finally got done watching all of Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
Just finished it.
Yeah, it's great. Fantastic.
I'm sorry.
What's that?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's great all the way up until like the last two seasons, and then it seemed like they just started smoking way too much weed, and they couldn't figure out the sentences. And then by the time you get to the last episode, it just becomes, "But she's my queen." but she's my queen, even though I'm the dwarf.
One person.
Their motivations are gone, and apparently so are the motivations of the writers. Let's just end this shit.
I feel like the one person that was flawless on the show, almost flawless, is Arya.
Mm.
I think she kind of just maintained how cool her character was throughout the whole series. Like the way she progressed and she just got more badass. And then she essentially was kind of the hero of the series.
Yeah,
she is. It's just that you build up this bad guy for so long, and then once you finally get up to the monumental scene of confrontation, it's not a big battle. It's just
you look like a Cupid doll.
Yeah, it's just let's just fight him. That's it.
Mask off and everything. Make me laugh. Okay, but one thing I do have to say about this show, okay, I personally I was expecting that kind of an ending because they ended it that way.
Okay.
So the ending didn't really surprise me, but the thing that did surprise me about this entire series, it didn't really start getting good until season 7. Okay.
Incest. That's what surprised you. I'm just. I said incest. I said incest was the thing that surprised you.
I'm not.
Whoa, now it's getting good. Let me go grab the popcorn.
3 things out of it that I loved. Okay, as me, and my queen, my honey, she said the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know we've all watched really epic movies like Braveheart and Gladiator and all these epic battle scenes and stuff, and we've only had a few good. I'm sorry, but I hated the movie for how long it took, but it took 40 minutes. But the original 1981 series of Dragon's Lair, I loved. I loved the dragon and the wizard.
I haven't seen that one yet.
You have to watch it, but it takes 40 minutes before it's got an epic dragon and wizard fight scene at the end of it. That's about you can wait.
I've always heard good things about that movie.
You just have to wait 40 minutes in before you start seeing the dragon, and they did a really good job for that dragon. Now that whole dragon thing with the voice actors and stuff, yeah, it was okay. You know, they had many series of it, but when it comes to epic and dragons, I love dragons. Okay. And in this series, the amount of money, I don't know what they spent per episode, but the amount of stuff they did for the battle scenes, all the battle scenes, think about it for a moment, and the dragon scenes, gorgeous. I mean, when you see the wall come down and the blue wraith dragon, I call it the wraith dragon when it's dead, and it freaking comes up the side of the wall and just blue flames the entire wall down. I mean, beautifully done. You know,
Robert, was it Harry Housen?
Like, what's that, bud?
Was it Harry? I'm going to mispronounce his name. Housen or something. The guy that did all the stop motion.
Yes,
Sinbad.
Him that did that.
What's that?
Was it Harry Housen that did the stop motion animation on that?
That's him. Yeah.
That's why it was so expensive. It looked amazing. I'm just sure that it was not cheap.
No, but it was gorgeous. I'm like, holy balls, this is awesome. And then their panoramic views. Okay, the 2 battle scenes that got me the most, me and Ms. G, they literally put you into the battlefield. So it's like you see a guy coming at you with an axe, and all of a sudden a horse goes flying by, and someone's head's getting ripped off. You're like, holy balls! Yeah. And then you're watching. What's his name? I wish I could remember the character's name. The one with the knight, the knight that come down off the wall, and he's in the battle. What's his name? Oh, Jon Snow.
Oh.
Jon Snow is in the battlefield the first time, and he was fighting against Ramses, and Ramses had all those archers on the hillside, and he's killing his own men on the battlefield. He don't give a shit. The psychotic guy, and he's falling down because he's getting attacked in the middle of the battlefield, and these bodies are building up around him. And then they pull it up, and you see all that, and he's unburying himself through all these dead bodies at the top. I was like, wow. And then you're looking at the battlefield, and then probably the only thing that bugged us, especially me and G, were saying that we hope the Dead Army. Dead Army was cool, but it was getting to be too much like the zombie movies we've all seen, okay?
Walking Dead.
Too much Walking Dead there for us, but they took care of that with the final the battle scene. That battle scene in the dark where you've got they look like 3,000 horse riders in the front, all those superior soldiers in back, all lined up, and they show it. The witch comes up, lights all of their lights all of the weapons on fire. They all got fire, and then they run into nothingness. And you're listening to that sound throughout the entire episode. It's that screaming, moaning of the dead army way in the background.
Yeah.
And you see that final impact, and it's a wave of dead bodies rolling on top of each other. The zombie. I was like, that was awesome. Awesome.
The whole scene looked like this.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I was like, did Rob enter the Matrix?
No, the entire you couldn't see what was going on for most of the entire scene. It was a great battle. You just couldn't see it.
That was probably the disappointing part of that fight scene, right? There was so much build up to it, and it's like the way parts of it was directed, it was kind of just let down. But like you know, what's funny? I wanted to do a skit where, like, you ever watch the sports? You ever watch like a sports game and you got like the announcers? They get like the little headsets and they're giving sort of like the play-by-play. Like, I wanted to do a skit where I'm doing the play-by-play, and I'm like, oh, it looks like the Night Kings won. It looks like he's taking the lead here. Oh no! Look, Arya Stark has come out of nowhere. He's won the game. The Game of Thrones.
It takes a lot for a movie to really get me involved with it. When it pulls emotions out like that, it's just like, and shock. You're just like, wow, you did not expect that. That was good to me. I love that. So I was very entertained with it. And then my third favorite thing, bet you never could guess. My third favorite thing out of the entire series was
redhead.
Boom. Redheads. Oh my God.
Hey Robert, can I ask a question?
My honey was like, baby, settle down. I see that. I go, yeah.
So Robert,
awesome.
During the scene when you had, I'm guessing her name was Cersei, when her head was shaved and she was getting whipped and they're going, shame, shame. Did you realize a whole new humiliation kink you never had before?
This is the thing, too, they did really good. Here's the thing they did really good as well. On all of those characters, like Cersei's, you hated her, then you liked her. Then you hated her, then you liked her. There was all these things, and it made you feel bad for these screwed up people. And then you're like, okay. And then I think a lot of things that people were upset with is how she died. So rocks tumbled on top of her. You know?
No. The big problem was the fact that Jamie was supposed to have a redemption arc with Brienne, the pale woman.
Right.
Instead, he goes like, "No, I'm going to sleep with you for one night. Toodles, I'm going to go, fuck my sister and then die."
That was that was fucked up. That was fucked up. But yeah,
He should have left his stump. He should have left his fake hand to her. Like, here's my gift to you. Remember me always.
You'll need this more than I do.
Every time I saw him with that hand, I thought of Kingpin with Woody Harrelson.
Oh yeah.
Good old Ernie McCracken.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Aesthetically speaking, G-Man, the 7, 8, 22 seasons of Game of Thrones, however long it ran, there was a lot of beautiful, memorable TV moments, and that we've never seen before, and maybe we will never see again.
Right.
The epic constructions of the sets, and the battles, and the effects, and the storytelling. From an art standpoint, even if the story didn't always connect, it was a beautifully shot series. It was well acted, and other than a Starbucks cup placement here and there, it was. If you watched it while you were vacuuming or with the sound off, you would say that is a well done, epic motion picture or a series of television episodes, and it was beautiful. So there's, from an artistic standpoint, they hit a high mark. for years, and we're still talking about it. It's been off the air for 2 years.
Yeah.
And whether you like the ending or not, as everybody that I've been on a panel before on the web knows, art is subjective. Some people dig the way it ended.
Exactly right.
Most people don't. But you know what? None of us on this panel have ever produced 20 minutes of epic television like that, to my knowledge. And if we have, more power to you. But you know, it takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to do what they did on that show for all those years. And my biggest complaint was the actual winner of the Game of Thrones at the end. I'm like, what? Given it this, but you know, my whole thing was there was a lot of stories that went exactly the way people wanted, and there were a lot of things that totally went by the wayside. But our expectations, whether we're watching WandaVision or Game of Thrones or Lost or Battlestar Galactica or Buffy the Vampire Slayer or the Avengers Endgame or anything that we're pontificating about, let's keep in mind that no one cares what we think in the long run. And they are in reality, there's a writer's room or a director, producer, or screenwriter that has this stuff planned out from day one. And you know, I don't think they're giving us what they're giving. A lot of times, I think they're thinking about giving us what we need and not what we want. You know, so I don't know.
Yeah, and see, I understand exactly where you're coming from when you come from the artistic point of view, because I see that's how I actually look at it. I got a lot of different things, so I get that totally. I like that. I like that a lot.
I watch a lot of shows where I'm like, wow, this is the shittiest show in the world, the worst script, the worst whatever. But I'm like, oh, but look at the lighting and look at how the sound is and whatever. There's things. It's like if you pick up a comic book from the 90s, that's the most beautiful comic book you've ever seen, a Stephen Platt comic, so to speak. You might read it and be like, this is trash writing. It's not Neil Gaiman and it's not Alan Moore. But guess what? It looks a lot better than a Gaiman or Alan Moore book, subjectively. And that's the way you got to look at it. There's two parts. It's a literature, but it's also a visual medium.
Yeah, like I said, beautiful. The visuals were. My buddy who plays D&D, has not watched a single episode of Game of Thrones, and he loves dragons, and he's never seen these. And I go, dude, the dragons were. I mean, when they're flying over the battlefield and just, boom, and not just burning a person, vaporizing a person. That was just wow. I mean, yeah, I'm just, I'll probably keep talking about it for years from now. But those scenes are just amazing.
So Robert the G-Man from the 1980s playing Dungeons and Dragons couldn't imagine today watching a series like that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, G-Man, like, since you love the dragon so much, you're very much going to enjoy the prequel series when that is released on HBO.
Yeah, I hope so.
They said that's going to be. They say it's going to be way more dragons in the in this series compared to Game of Thrones.
I'm so disappointed with
Is
all
that
the
Hedge
dragons.
Knight? Is that going to be Hedge Knight?
Hedge Knight? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I heard that one of the spin-offs that they made a comic book from about 5 years ago, Hedge Knight. That's one of the George R. R. Martin spin-offs that they're going to be making into an HBO Max.
No, it's going to be the Targaryen. It's going to be the Targaryen family. It's the the prequel.
Do we have a name?
House of the Dragon or something like that. I have to look it up. It's been a while.
That'd be really cool. It'd be really cool. Because it's
House of M and House of the Dragon.
Into the Dragon.
Yeah.
Chasing
but listen. All-time greatest dragon. I think we can all agree. All-time greatest dragon.
You're gonna say
Sean Connery. Sean Connery. You know.
I was gonna say Puff.
I was gonna say the same thing. I was thinking Puff the Smith. I was gonna say the same thing. The magic dragon.
Of course not a dragon. He's a giant flying dog.
Exactly, big puppy.
Well, you could say he's a big puppy, but he might be a crossbreeder with a dragon. So.
Are you being serious, Randall, about the Sean Connery thing?
Huh?
Dragon picture. What was it called? What was that dragon picture called? They made a
Dragonheart, I think.
Dragonheart.
Is it
Dragonheart. Yeah.
I just like.
So I am the last one.
Yeah, and they came out with a bunch of sequels after that, though.
I
Man, like
know, and I watched
four other.
Except there'll be more.
Yeah.
I watched every one of them too. I just,
Yeah.
I'm the last one unless we make some money.
Yeah.
Will this pay off my IRS tax bill? Can we bring
Somebody
in
get me a Diet Coke. Oh, are we still filming? Are you still recording? Well, you can just cut this out of the movie.
Randall,
Huh?
if you get the chance, check out that classic Dragon Slayer. Trust me,
Yeah.
it's very winded. Some of it's very
Yeah.
long. It's like 40 minutes.
There's quite a few classics I still need to watch. You know, like I've never seen War Games.
It's like you go from like 40 minutes in and then go right straight to the end. That's about it. But it's
You like war games.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of classic stuff I
Explain
haven't
it.
seen. Like, well, I mean, not a lot, but I mean, but I also I've seen like obscure films that people like aren't even familiar with. Like, there's a movie called oh God, how am I forgetting the movie?
What's
You
it
work
about?
you work two jobs, man. I'm not surprised you forget stuff.
It's about two brothers and they're pyrokinetics, and they both have they're in love with the same woman. And
Pirate
Deborah
Kinetics?
Winger, huh?
Did you say Pirate Kinetics?
Pyrokinetic. They
What's a
can form fire
Fire,
with
yeah.
their
Movie
mind.
Fire Starter.
Did you say fire or pirate?
Pyro.
Pyro.
I'm
No,
thinking you're thinking
No, you said pirate.
Pirate.
What I heard and what everybody else heard, I heard pirate.
pirate, and then I heard
The dress is gold. No, the dress is blue.
Sorry, Randall. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, I heard. I didn't hear pyro. I heard to say the same thing.
That's what I thought you said as well.
Pyrokinetic.
Okay, there we go.
So what is this?
Yeah.
What is this?
It's
So what
called
is
It's called Wilder Napalm. He's talking about
Yes. You got it.
1993. Dennis Quaid. So there's your Dragonheart connection.
Yeah.
Deborah
Good old
Winger,
Jim
Dennis
Varney.
Quaid.
Jim Varney.
Two brothers with the secret power of starting fires with their minds. What?
Pyrokinetics.
What's that?
It's such a
Wild-
fun, quirky film.
Wilder Napalm.
I love the ending of the film.
It's about Jessica Simpson.
The great thing about the ending of the film is the two brothers finally hash it out. Because you had the one brother that basically was like, we can't use our powers, we can't use our abilities. And Dennis Quaid's been working at this circus, and he's just tired of living this mediocre life. So he's like, oh, I'm gonna go live. I'm gonna show people, I'm gonna show people my powers. I'm gonna show people my abilities, and I'm gonna make some money. I'm gonna be famous.
Napalmer. What is this?
Wilder Napalm.
How did I not know about this?
I haven't figured that out.
And there's this great fight between the two brothers at the end of the film, and you just see them like throwing fire at each other, and they're just like destroying this entire parking lot, and it's got like this carnival stuff that's going on. And
Randall, when did it come out?
93.
Huh?
93.
Yeah,
Never seen that.
probably my favorite Dennis Quaid film.
I like Dennis Quaid. He's not bad.
Next to Dragonheart.
Next to Dragon.
See, that's kind of like what they did, and they ruined one thing. That was very frustrating. Now, getting back to like fantasy and battles and Conan kind of movies, and I was a big. It had its moments, its bad moments, but like Beastmaster, for example, they're trying to make a TV series out of that. I'm like, and I really tried to watch that TV series. Oh my god.
They did that
Horrible.
to they did that to Sheena too, didn't they?
But
Yeah,
Sheena
there
was
was
better.
a TV show.
Yeah.
Sheena
Yeah.
was better.
Yeah.
That hurt when Tanya Roberts passed earlier this year.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hurt
Twice.
below the belt.
Yeah, twice. All because the assistant couldn't get things right in the story, and then, oops, no, she's alive.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Ah,
no,
crap. Yeah.
Apparently, it's incorrect.
They pulled it and then they put it back up because she was still alive at the time when they posted it.
Wow.
I liked her on that 70s show. I thought she did a great job on that show.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. I have a personal story about her, and it's very embarrassing.
Mm. Oh, hold on.
There she is.
Yeah, looks really nice right there.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I have Beastmaster on DVD. I'm pretty sure it's the one that's out of print.
Was she in
I
Beastmaster?
have Sheena on DVD.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh. Now I kind of want to see Beastmaster again.
You're going to really like her in Beastmaster.
So
She's a hot- She
She
is
was
hot.
the first movie I saw where it showed an exposed breast of a woman. So many years later, back in I think 2003, 2004, I just put out my first comic, and I'm at the show with a couple friends of mine, and one of them is the brother that's dating the, I guess he was the publisher at the time at Cracked Magazine.
Okay,
And so I'm with the kid, and we get about 15 feet from the table when he says, "Oh, is that Tanya Roberts? She looks used." And she looks up from the signing that she's doing right up and right at me. At that point, I turn right on my heels and I walk right. Never got an opportunity to say hi.
Ouch.
You
They
should
said
have
she
pulled it
looks-
like,
Did they say she looks used? Used?
Yeah. This
Not near mint,
kid,
but used?
Not even-
it was just so wrong.
that sounds to me.
Gonna gave her a
One,
6.5 or something?
Yeah, that story is
Oh.
gold. Because you know what that reminds me of? That just sounds like something that would have been on Seinfeld or like Curb Your Enthusiasm, where when she looks straight up, you should have been like,
Not me. There
I
was no
didn't say it. It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Whether it was me or not, I'm with a person that thought that of her. So there was no
Yeah.
saving that moment. There was only just walking the hell away.
There was one way you could have saved that moment. You could have looked at that person and be like, "How dare you?" and then just slapped them in front of her.
I heard
Or
that
push
she went
them.
to
Oh,
her
this-
grave thinking about that comment.
What did you say?
I said she went to her grave thinking about that comment.
Right. So I bet she was steaming pissed too.
I really am the worst.
Yeah.
You gave her a CGC 4.2 or something, right?
I'm like worse than Howard Stern. And I didn't even say anything.
Too funny.
When you cross
All
those
right,
golden
guys.
gates and you run into her, you can tell her, "It wasn't me that said that."
Mm.
When
She'd be
you
like, "I don't
see
remember
older, when you see older actresses or actors at conventions, and
Do
you're
not
worried
say they're
about
used.
how they've aged, just squint a little when you look at them, and they'll look just like they did 20 years ago.
Or just start repeating at convention.
Wear glasses, take them off.
Mm.
And everybody looks young or old or kind of just like a giant blur anyway.
Just bring like a flask.
That's what bugs
Just
me.
bring like a
about,
flask and be like, and then just like look
Yeah,
at your watch,
just
like wait like 30 minutes. And you're like, "Oh, hey."
So there's a reason why I don't go to a lot of cons also, and that's because back in the day I was a super alcoholic, and there's quite a few creators that know who I am by just name alone, and others that remember me from things that I don't remember. So I don't like to revisit that.
Sure.
Sounds like
You have a lot of stories. Lots of stories.
Tim's told me stories about your old boss from Dynamite from Demolition.
Oh.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say this. He has his moments where he can be very funny, can be very hilarious. I've seen several people who are like, "Oh, I can't stand this guy," but like they'll be like within a moment they'll be hanging around and they overhear him like just joking around and saying stuff, and whether you liked him or didn't, whether you liked him or didn't like him, he would say stuff that just everyone was laughing and like just be like, "Oh my god, that's ridiculous, you're crazy." That's another guy that like he could probably write a book of all of his crazy stories. One time I'm at work, I'm at the store, he shows up and he's like, "Hey man, go ahead, watch the store, I'll be back. If anybody's calling for me, just tell them I went across the street to the gas station to get something." I'm like, "Okay." And he looked like he had been drinking. And so he's gone, I don't know, 4 hours, maybe 5 hours at this point. Shows up right as we're closing, or a little bit after we're closing. It's dark outside. And he's like, "Oh my god." And I'm like, What happened?" He's like, "I passed out. I was like outside somewhere, I forget where, and I passed out. I'm like laying in the grass, and like this horse came out of nowhere and just started like licking my face or something like that, and it woke me up. And then I just was like, I didn't know where I was at. And then I got up and I managed to just walk around and I came back here." And I'm just like,
Why didn't you ask him? Why didn't you take the horse back?
no, that's the thing. It was, I think, a police horse, or it was like one of those neighbors. There in the area that we're like at, there is occasionally people riding their horse, and we're talking like busy streets. It's just weird seeing these people, but they have horses. They have pet horses, and they're in the area. And he must have stumbled into an area where the people that were keeping the horses weren't too, it wasn't too far.
Yeah, then the other story I heard about him with Tim was where him and Tim went to a con where he had got so drunk he was in a tub with his clothes on, tub was still on and water was coming out.
Yeah, that's a crazy story. I mean, like he likes to drink. He's a big time drinker, and I remember Tim telling me one time that they went to a concert and they were hanging out together. And so so Will would give him money. It's like, "Hey man, do me a favor, can you go get me a drink?" And Tim's like, yeah, no problem, man. What kind of drink do you want? So Tim would go, he'd get the drinks, but then Tim would drink the drinks and then walk back and run back into Will. And Will would be like, "Hey man, did you get those drinks?" And Tim's like, "What drinks?" He's like, "Did you want me to get you drinks?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, yeah, give me the money. I'll go get drinks." He did that to Will like 4 times, and it was just hilarious. And then what's funny too is the first time he drank the drinks, and then I think the rest of the times he just kept the money. And so one day Tim goes to the store and he uses the money that Will gave him to buy his comic books from Will. And then he admitted to Will, like, "Hey man, by the way, this is actually your money. This is the money that you gave me when we were at the concert." And he's like, "I'm just joking with you, man. Like, you can have your money back. I just wanted to pull a prank on you and joke with you." And Will respects like people like, messing with him like that, to a point where Will's like, "No, man, you got me. You earned it, man. You earned it. You got me. Like, I shouldn't have fallen for that," or something like that. So like, yeah, there you go, man. Those are your books. That's your money. You got me. So I'm just thinking to myself, like, wow, Will's just one of those guys. Like, he has like so many stories, but unfortunately, over the years, he's built such a bad reputation that people don't want to shop there or do business, and and like there's been a couple times where I'm just like, I don't want to keep working for Will. Like I will credit him. There was one time we got into an argument, and out of nowhere, he was like, "Man, you know what? I dare you to open your own comic book store. You wouldn't last 3 months." And so I was like, okay, and then not long after that, I did the comic book store, and I had it for at least 2 years, so it was just one of those, like, I proved him wrong. So it was just one of those, like, that was the push that I needed, like
Right.
I could be the guy working at the comic book store, or I could be the guy trying to, build my own business and start my own comic book store and be my own boss. I don't want, instead of working for somebody who
Right.
is a little crazy.
Little crazy. I heard of plenty of stories.
Yeah,
Little crazy.
I'm trying to be
Who
nice.
among us wants to be popping fucking antacids every single day because of their shitty boss?
Yeah.
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 And and it's a shame, man. It's one of those, like, when you really think about it, people aren't quitting jobs, they're quitting the people. So
Right.
like a lot of these jobs have like bad managers, you have
Yeah.
just bad bosses, bad owners. And it's not necessarily that they don't like the job anymore, it's just they don't like the environment, they don't like who they're working with or how
Right.
they're being treated, Like they're smart enough to realize that, like, hey,
Tentacle cover.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. That's nice.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one. Hold on, Rob. Tentacle cover. Got another one of these.
Oh, yes, please.
And then picked up my third copy of this one. This is a beautiful one. Issue one.
Nice.
Nice.
Sorry, trying to change the subject.
No, you're good.
No,
You're good.
sorry.
Sorry.
I was
You're
gonna
good.
ask about people meeting people at conventions. Favorite,
Oh, yeah.
worst and best creative talents, comic book talents.
Hmm.
I had
Worst.
decent experience so far. I haven't had no bad
I want
one
to
yet.
hear best. I want to hear best and worst. I don't care if they're icons or newer
Okay.
people like Donnie Cates or whatever.
Right.
I'll start with the worst one, and then I've ended with a good one. The worst one, and it
Yeah.
wasn't even really that bad. It was just a little awkward. I have a book, DC's Guide to Writing Comics, written by Denny O'Neil, and I had this idea of like getting all my like favorite writers or writers that I really respect and like. I had this idea of getting them all to sign that book. So every time I go through that book and I see those signatures, it kind of just inspires me and pushes me to, become a comic book writer. So I go to Peter David, and Peter David's reaction is he looks at the book, and I explain to him why I want him to sign it. And he kind of just like looks up at me and he's like, I wrote a book on how to write comic books, right? And I was like, no, I had no idea. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, you know what? I'll make sure to find a copy, and the next time I see you, I'll get you to sign it. But it was just like one of those like awkward moments, like, okay. Like it was just Peter David just pushing his stuff as usual.
Well, how about
now
your
my
best?
favorite? Huh?
Your best now.
Oh yeah, the best
favorite?
now. It's got to be Stan Lee. I remember my first celebrity experience of getting a picture was with Erica Durance from Smallville. And when I went through that experience, like I thought, I was gonna have a chance to like talk to her for like a minute. It was like, nope, get in front of the camera, smile, 1, 2, 3, okay, boom, here's your stuff, walk out the door. It happened so fast, and I remember like walking away, and I looked at Erica Durance like, and she was just like looking at me like, sorry, bye, and so because of that memory, I told my buddy, I had like no money, I was broke, and I was at MegaCon, and my buddy was like, hey man, don't you want something from Stan Lee? And I was like, oh man, I don't have any money. And he's like, well, I'll let you borrow the money, and like at least get like a picture taken with him or something. So I'm like, okay, cool. And I told my friend, I was like, hey, man, you know what? If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be getting this picture with Stan Lee. So I want you in the picture with me. And I was telling him, prepping him. I was telling him, listen, this is what's going to happen, man. They're going to be like, hey, you stand over there, ready, look at the camera, 1, 2, 3, boom. And they're going to hand you the stuff and you got to walk right out. So, like, you want to make sure you're going to get a good picture. Like, be prepared, know where you want to, stand and smile. And so, like, I was totally prepared. And we were, like, one of the first few people in the line. So we get in there. I tell Frank, you stand on his right side. I'll stand on his left side. And before that, I was like looking at all these pictures of Stan, and it was a very generic. Like Stan was kind of like sitting there and kind of like leaning to the left and just like looking tired in all these pictures. So I was like, man, I got to do something to like get Stan to like liven up, because I want like a good picture with Stan. And so Frank's over there. I'm on the left-hand side. As I approach Stan, I tap him on the shoulder. And I'm like, hey, Stan! And he's like, hey! And so, like, we're getting ready for the picture. We're standing there. And I got, like, doing almost like the Superman pose. Like, I got my hands on the hips. And I'm thinking to myself, like, nah, that looks stupid. And so, like, last minute, as they're counting down the picture, they're like, ready? 1, 2, 3, and then click. Right as they got to 3, I did a last minute like thumbs up, and right before the picture clicked. And then apparently Stan had said something, but I didn't hear it because the person already approached me and was like, okay, here's your stuff, go ahead and walk out this way. And thankfully my buddy Frank was there, because as we were walking out, Frank was like, hey, did you hear what Stan said to you? And I was like, Stan said something? What did he say? And he was like, Stan said, hey, you nailed it. So Stan saw me put up that thumbs up right before the picture was taken. And he was like, hey, you nailed it. So I was just like thinking to myself, like, awesome. I wish I could have heard that with my own ears. But thankfully, Frank was there to tell me what he said. So. I guess Rob is next.
Rob. Worst.
So what do you want to hear? I have plenty of stories. Good
just
or
your
bad?
Just your best and worst. Favorite and least favorite.
Okay. Well, if we're doing Stan Lee, how about just the fact that my dad wound up, anytime he came down here for all the various comic book conventions from Miami, Broward, West Palm Beach, we were always there. He was always coming down here. He almost had a second home down here, I'm pretty sure. But my dad would wind up striking up conversations with him about just the randomest shit, like car stuff, NASCAR, baseball, football, stuff I didn't care about. I was into comic books, but my dad liked talking about it, and Stan liked talking about it. So after a while, Stan would go, hey, Rob, how you doing? How's your dad? He knew who I was because of my dad, because my dad had the gift of gab.
Nice. Always good.
So that was good. Stan remembered me because of my dad. Initially, I hated that because, what kid wants to be? I was like, Dad, that's embarrassing. Looking back, damn, that was cool, son. You should be proud of that. But no, I was a dumb kid. I never
so your dad stole your thunder. He's like, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as far as creators go, I really haven't had bad moments with a creator, as I've had some weird ones because I was intoxicated. But let's just go with one where it involves no creators that could possibly sue me. So here I am outside of a park. It's about 2:00 in the morning. I'm hanging out with a couple people because for MegaCon, I would have to drive people to the airport, drive them to the hotel, drive them back. So a lot of them knew who I was. But while we were staying at the hotel, we'd kind of party. So we're out at a park, and I see a sign, and the sign says, no profanity. And it's 2 in the morning. I'm wasted, and I'm going, no profanity. This is America. I'm Captain fucking America. And I see a police officer, and he's like, son, please get down from there and return to your hotel rooms. Like, how do you know that I'm staying at the hotel here? Sir, you're not wearing any shoes. So yeah, that's something that I will probably be remembered for. Also, I was not allowed back to that hotel anymore.
Okay, so
G-Man.
now
He's busy drinking.
All right. I'm a big Star Trek fan, classic Star Trek fan. No comic book artists other than whatever, because I don't get to go to cons very often. But used to be really big into the Star Trek conventions, and I would go to those. And had an opportunity to meet William Shatner. The only autograph I never got, and for good reason. Sorry, I don't care. He's a douchebag. I tried to be polite. I really did. And I was polite. Waited in that line for 2.5 hours. Get all the way up there. There's nothing about price, how much we have to pay for how much we have to pay for the book, the autograph, just to sign a picture. Get up there, and I see him, and I'm starry-eyed, like, awesome, this is good. I'm seeing Captain Kirk for the first time live in front of me, that's awesome. And it's a pleasure to meet you. He goes, yeah, whatever. And I'm like, what? Yeah, and I'm serious. Like, yeah, whatever. And I go, it's a really pleasure to meet you. Could I take it? No. And I'm like, what? And I kind of stopped. It kind of caught me off guard. I'm like, is this guy for real? And then the lady turns around and she goes, oh, that would be $300 for his autograph. No price, no nothing. And I stood back and I went, really? Keep your picture. Fuck you. And I walked away. My bad experience.
Nice.
Now, my best experience, and it's probably a couple years later, was Leonard Nimoy. By far my best experience. I waited, and I actually got to have a drink with him, talked with him for like 20 minutes. Got 4 autographs. He was awesome. He's a guy that loved his fans, and he was, very, very cordial. And then I would say memorable, that was most memorable, but I have a second memorable moment when it comes to Star Trek, and that was Next Generation. Oh my God. Back 25 years ago, Marina Sirtis, that Greek, she was hot. The counselor, and I'm serious. Sitting up in the front of the stage, I was like all starry-eyed. She came out in a little mini skirt dress. She comes up, she goes, before I start my convention, she literally tells all of us fans, before I start my convention, you can take all the pictures you want. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. 5 minutes, I think it was something like that. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes, take all the pictures you want. After that, I don't want to see anything going on while I'm talking and asking questions. Dude, she pulls out a chair. I swear to God. It was like, if you had a shower, getting her all wet, she was doing sexy poses. I mean, everything. I'm like, wow.
Hey.
All right. That escalated quickly.
Yeah. Awesome. She's very straightforward, and just boom. So that was cool. That's about my good memory with a star, whatever.
How about you, Jeff?
Best was Jim and Holly. Best one. And then worst one, I don't got no bad ones so far yet. Not yet. I haven't been to enough cons yet.
Hands down, William Shatner. I'll never forget that. I could not believe how
don't meet
you.
Don't meet your heroes.
Yeah. I'm gonna segue convention. The worst for me, I'm gonna start with the best. The best for me is I've had the pleasure of sitting, taking pictures, getting hundreds of comics autographed, and talking at length to George Perez 4 different times in my life. George Perez treated me great when I was by myself, when I was with my wife, when I had my wife and kid. He never charges for signings.
Nope.
He signs as much as you want. I have pictures, selfies with him taken over the course of 30 years. Always a pleasure meeting George Perez.
Yeah.
One of my heroes as far as being a comic book creator, artist, whatever. my worst experience, 2 different cons in a row. One con I thought, oh, well, maybe he's just having a bad day. And it's so funny because he's such a wonderful man, and he's probably one of the most iconic artists of all times. And maybe other people have gotten him, but he acted like a total dick to me 2 years in a row. Mr. Neil Adams.
Wow.
The biggest dick I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
I don't know why. It crushed my soul. To this day, sometimes I think about it. And you know what's funny? I've met John Byrne, and he was a sweetheart to me. But Neil Adams was the biggest dick I've ever met at a convention.
Not the only one to hear that.
And maybe it was me.
I've met, it's funny, the opposite experience. I've met him several times. I agree, though. I know that he's been a dick to people, but every time I've met Neil, I just got lucky, and he was nice to me. Granted,
a lot of money with him.
Oh yeah, I played up his ego. I buttered him up. So when I did that, that's when he was just like, oh.
This is a special book. This is George Perez.
Very nice.
Yeah, he had nude panels.
Those weird variants. I like George Perez.
So with me, it was 2 out of 3. I had Perez, Byrne, and Adams in my bronze Rolodex of people that I wanted to meet in my life, and Adams let me down.
I forgot to mention Mark Millar. I got to meet him, and that was one of my top experiences also.
He'll get drunk.
I had a good experience with Donnie Cates a year or 2 ago.
Yeah, Donnie's been nice. Pretty cool.
I heard he's pretty down to earth.
Yeah.
Yes. I had one experience with Donnie, and it's because I was working with CBCS. I was doing one of the conventions, and the guy who was running the conventions at the time, real nice guy, Mark Roman. He knew so many of the, because he set up the private signings and all that stuff. So everyone kind of knew who Mark was. But Mark was actually friends with Donnie Cates maybe 5-10 years before he even blew up at Marvel. And so he was like, oh, I'm happy for Donnie. Like, he's been working at this for years, and now he's like getting the recognition and success, And so we were at this Italian restaurant in Orlando. I forget the name of it, but this was like on a Thursday night. And this was before the big days at MegaCon. And so many people were there. Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor and their group of friends that also do other comic books, they were all on the table sitting next to us, but they were kind of like, they had this wall up, so you couldn't really see or hear what was going on, but you knew they were there. Dan Didio is walking by. Scott Snyder is plastered. That guy he looks so drunk. He looks so drunk. I was just like, hey, maybe it'd be a fun time to say hi to him or something, But here comes Donnie Cates, and I happen to be wearing my Infinity Gauntlet shirt. And Donnie had just been writing the Thanos miniseries. And so Donnie actually walked up and he slammed the table and he looked at Mark and he's like, hey, Mark, how's it going, man? And he's like, hey, Donnie. And then so I'm kind of just standing there looking at the two of them talk. And then Donnie looked at me, looked at my shirt, and he was like, hey, I like the shirt. And I was like, thanks, man. Cool. And it was totally unexpected. I wasn't expecting to run into Donnie Cates wearing a Thanos Infinity Gauntlet shirt, So that was a nice little moment there. But yeah, I miss working conventions. I you know what? I really hope once I get my debt settled and I have some money saved up, I'm hoping to set up as a vendor at more of these conventions and then get more stories maybe. Talk to other artists and writers and eventually maybe even set up private signings if I have the money and the connections to do all that. But that'd be pretty cool.
All right. I'm gonna call it, guys. So let's see what you got. What you? You're welcome. What you got going on, Rob?
What I have going on? Well, do a usual show every Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. It's called the Not Near Mint Show. Don't know if we have any guests this week. I don't think so. It might just be an open chat. It stars Miracle Man. It stars Lady Fantastic. It stars Comics on the Mind and Ace. The intro has the entire comic community. It might be about 4 frames or so, but if missing you, feel free to contact me, and my email is inside just about
Cool. I
everything.
want to see that, Rob.
Yeah.
You're in it.
Am I?
Yeah.
You all are in it.
Yeah. All right, what you got going on, Randall?
Just trying to survive another week. You know, working and getting books every week. So you can find me on my social media platforms.
All right. What you got going on, Anthony?
Oh, I'm in the middle of inking the final issue of Oh My God.
Okay.
And that'll be out sometime in May.
Okay.
And I'm just, I've been reading a lot of crazy comic books, picking up some cool stuff.
That's cool.
Reading some Kates and Tom King and some Wonder Woman. There's Oh My God. That's issue number 5. Issue number 6 coming out. And you guys also know I'm a big Jim Steranko fan, and I'm trying to collect everything that he's ever worked on. And I just picked up a beat-up issue of Spy-Man.
That's
nice.
First professional work he ever did. Nice. Other than that, I'm reading a lot of old comics, a lot of new comics, and trying to put the finishing touches on issue number 6 out in May. If you're interested in any of my comics, issues 1 through 5 of Oh My God and issue 1 of Venus and Mars, check out my Wild Mercury Comics on Facebook, on Instagram, or just look up Anthony Sika on Twitter and Facebook. Anthony Sika Art on Facebook, Anthony Sika on Twitter, and Wild Mercury Comics on Instagram. Direct message me, and I'd be happy to give you comic books for money. $2.99 $2.99 a piece. $2.99 a piece, and you can get the whole series for $20. So
sweet.
All right, Rob, what you got going on?
I want to ask Anthony, does he sign the books?
Yeah.
Autograph book?
Yep.
Do I sign them? Of course.
Yeah, like the one with the redhead. You have a redhead cover, don't you?
I'll sign them all. I'll sign them all, my friend.
I'll be contacting you for sure.
No problem. Just hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, whatever.
For sure.
What you got going on, Rob?
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Well, what do we got going on? It's like every Saturday at midnight.
Yeah,
the Nerdy Collective. This Saturday is going to be Hobby from the Conquistadors. So come check that out. We got a little bit of music going to be played for you guys. So go and check us out there. And
not copyrighted music, so it's.
Okay. And then we got once a month. We got It's That Time of the Month show, and that's with Queen G and the Ladies show. They did a show last Saturday, and it was pretty awesome. Go check it out. And thank you very much, Jeff. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Awesome tonight.
You're welcome. All right, guys. All I got going on is the Anthony's Comic Wednesdays, the Extreme Nerd Table, and then I got the Nerdy Collective going on. But next week I have to work on Saturday, so I won't be able to make it. But still check out Rob. Yeah, still check out Rob, the Nerdy Collective. Still check out Not Near Mint's show. Still, check everybody out on this panel here. All great guys. You just check them out. I'll leave everything in the description below after this when we end it. So if you guys got to get a hold of them, everything's going to be in the description below. I'll check you guys later.
Peace.